Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. Just want to take a second to thank one of the sponsors for this episode of EntreProgrammers, DigitalOcean. So I've talked about DigitalOcean a lot before on the show, and that's because they're just such an awesome company. I use them to host all of my websites, basically simpleprogrammer.com, which gets around 200,000 page views a month, runs on there, super smooth. Get Up and Code runs on there. The EntreProgrammers podcast that you're listening to right now, we use DigitalOcean for that. I use it for just about everything, and it's such a good deal. You know, as far as hosting goes, right, if you're going to run your own Linux server and do your own web hosting at $5 a month, which is the starting plan for DigitalOcean, you just really can't beat that. It's crazy. And when you do need something super powerful, DigitalOcean comes through for you as well, and it's so easy to scale up to that. I started out on Simple Programmer with a $10 a month box, and I was even able with that to get 100,000 page views a month without much of a problem. But when I wanted to scale up, all I had to do was bring the server down, expand the size, go up to the higher size droplet, and bam, I was up there, and I've expanded it a couple of times since then. So DigitalOcean, definitely awesome company. I would definitely recommend that you check it out if you have any idea of creating a website online, or you want to have your own Linux server to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, some development or put out a production app. Just a ton of great things that you can do with DigitalOcean. Go to DigitalOcean.com and use the code EntreProgrammers to get a $10 credit. So DigitalOcean.com, EntreProgrammers is your code, and you get $10 credit, good for basically 2 months at a $5 box, so you can check it out.
This episode of the EntreProgrammers is brought to you by Raygun.io. Blast away the errors in your application before anybody even knows that your application has errors. It's an amazing system that allows you to find and fix bugs before your users even know that they have bugs. You can save time and money, and believe me, development time is expensive. It takes a lot of time and effort to track down these horrible bugs in production, but Raygun can help you find and fix these things faster by giving you complete stack traces of where these errors are happening and logging them for you so that you don't have to hunt them down and track them down and deal with all of the horrible mess of finding and debugging that you typically have to go through as a developer. This is full stack monitoring that allows you to monitor errors across your entire application, from the front end in the browser to mobile applications to the back end with Node.js or .NET or whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to have extremely reliable error tracking in your application in no time at all. So head over to Raygun.io and get started today to put some real error tracking in your application and start hunting down these bugs that you don't even know your users are running into, and you'll be better off for it. It's a product and service that I've been using for almost 2 years inside of Signal Leaf, and I really can't live without it. It's helped me so many times, and I've had such great results with it. I highly recommend you check out Raygun.io today.
All right, so what's the deal, Josh?
Yeah,
So Josh calls to order this very special meeting.
Yeah, so first of all, I have to mention I have my youngest here. So if you hear fussing, that's him. Yeah, so something cool happened. So this actually started yesterday. I was working. It's around like sometime after lunch. I'm working away, and my mentor pings me on Skype, and he's like, "Hey, you want a client?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no," because I've already got 2 clients, and I'm really stressed out about this, and just trying to figure out how I'm going to get all this stuff done. And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of booked, so probably not." And then he keeps like dropping hints and like basically pressuring me.
Right.
You really need to talk to this guy. So I was like, okay, fine. You know, tell me a little bit more about it. And he's got a product, and he's getting like 1,000 email signups a week for his webinar and everything. So it sounded pretty interesting. It's like it's a fitness niche. It's running, targets runners. So I was like, okay, well, let's introduce me to the guy. So he sends an email, and so we connect, and he's like, well, his name's Craig. He's like, you want to talk on Skype? So I was like, sure. So we jumped on Skype, talked about it for like an hour, and they basically are I mean, they're like blowing up. They just kind of got started. They're selling a $200 product. Just got started, driving a bunch of Facebook traffic. People are loving the product. It sounds really interesting. It's like basically how to avoid getting injured as a runner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a different angle. It's not like just a running program. It's actually like kind of cuts across all different skill levels. And anyway, they've got like a bunch of secondary offers that they're developing, and basically it sounds like he could keep me busy, for quite a while if he likes my emails. Mainly he wants emails. So I'm like, all right, well, so I'm like scrambling, like the whole conversation. I'm like thinking in my head, like, how in the world can I possibly make this work?
Right.
Because like I really would like to work with this guy. He's clearly, this could be something I could work with this guy for 6 months, and if I could take him on. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. I told him I was going to charge him $250 an email, and he was like, that's a little high, but okay, that's we'll work with that. So he's willing to pay my rates and everything. I'm like, okay. So I hang up with him, and I'm like, all right, I got to figure out a way to make this work. I got to look at what pieces can I shuffle around. I'm thinking like, all right, well, I've got 2 clients. I could go to one and say, can we delay this by like 2 weeks? And another project I'm just going to try to push off a little bit indefinitely. And then I'm like, you know what? You know what would really help? You know what would really help?
I know what would really help.
What if I hand in my 2 weeks notice?
Yeah.
And I've been planning to do it pretty soon anyway. Not this soon, but I've been planning to do it. I was like, that would really help.
That would really help a lot.
Buy you some time,
Yeah. So basically, what I could do would be to hand in my notice, and then I could delay the one client. I could just push his stuff forward by 2 weeks, but I could still hit deadlines because we have a full month to do the work. And then I could work on this guy and the other guy, the public speaking course guy, trying to prioritize that stuff. But I have to quit my job. Oh, what the heck! so I sent him my notice this morning.
You texted him? You just texted Larry like, I quit?
No, I didn't text him. I emailed him.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, I've been thinking about doing it. I was kind of thinking about doing it in a couple weeks. I was like my target date. But with this coming up now, and like this could potentially be, easily like a $3,000 a month thing.
Yeah.
For 6 months if this guy likes my work.
Wow.
And I've got a strong recommendation and everything. So I decided to just pull the plug and do it. So,
wow. So congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of numb.
Right.
I think like I basically I wrote the email, and then I just left it in the draft.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs and I got a drink of water, and I came back downstairs and I paced around, and I talked to my wife. And so we kind of did the like, what's the worst case scenario analysis.
Right.
And I was like, well, I could probably pretty easily get a programming contract if this doesn't work out for $100 an hour, and I'd be making more than I am now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd be working less. So that's not so bad. And when I said that, my wife was like, you should have done this a long time ago. No. So yeah, that was pretty funny. So
nice.
She's nervous about it. I'm nervous about it.
Of course, you should be.
Yeah, she's like security.
Right.
And I'm the risk taker, and I'm fairly conservative risk taker, but any risk is risky for somebody who likes a lot of stability. So so I got to make this thing work now.
Nice.
But I'm in pretty good shape. Like I was totaling it all up, and I've got about $5,500 in business like coming to me right now.
Wow.
Either stuff that people have already signed on the dotted line, or projects like this project is. I think it'll probably end up being around $2,000 or $3,000, like the first chunk of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then from there, who knows? We'll see if he wants to keep working with me.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just kind of numb. But I haven't told any. You guys are the first people other than my wife and Larry to hear. So I wanted to tell you guys first because you've been so
awesome.
supportive and everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna start telling. I think it'll start to feel more real as I tell people, and then when I actually, when it's actually, I finish out my last day and.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, man, I feel this is always so hard for me. Like I feel like betrayal. Like I'm like I'm betraying my employer. And they like I've really enjoyed working there. It's been a great place to work, and it's especially hard because I'm the iOS guy.
Mm-hmm.
We do have another developer, Mike, who's there he is. Shh. We do have another guy who knows iOS actually better than I do, so he'll be able. He hasn't done as much Xamarin, but he'll be able to step in and fill that role. They're gonna have to backfill.
Being the iOS guy is a position that makes it likely that you'll leave.
Yeah. Although not necessarily to pursue a career in marketing. So.
Right.
Larry's gonna be like, I'm never hiring an iOS guy again. Like,
well,
wait, you're friends with John Sonmez and Derek Bailey? No.
Yeah.
No, you're not hired.
Chuck, we should try to get Chuck. See, Chuck already knows Ruby, right? Like,
right, totally.
For a while there, Ruby was the thing that was luring away all the Trackabout employees.
Yeah, that's what got me and a few other people gone.
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
You're unemployed like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Right.
So May 22nd will be my last day.
Nice.
It's a Friday, and so I'm gonna try to basically prioritize this running niche client ahead of the other stuff that I've got going. The guy, the public speaking course guy, his emails are due on the 26th. So that gives me, I'll have a full work day. Like even just that, like thinking about it that way was like, oh wow, like I could literally write. That's like a week, almost a week's worth of time.
Yeah.
The way I've been working in the morning.
Right.
One full work day is like a week's worth of time.
Right.
So I'll have, that gives me a little breathing room with him too. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, don't go back and reread those.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
Posts I wrote.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
You think you're adding 8 hours to your day, but you're not adding 8 hours.
No,
you're adding 4.
Yeah, that's really what I'm. Well, 4 plus downtime to get like little crap done.
Yeah.
So what I'm planning to do, like my plan is to work. I'm gonna try to not work Saturdays. So I'm gonna work 5 days a week. Anywhere from 40 to 60 hours.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to help my wife more with the kids. So like I'm gonna try. Like right now I have him. It's nap time, and she's getting a nap for the first time in like a long time. So I'm trying to help out with that a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna try to hit it hard in the morning. Start at my normal time. Spend maybe like 6 hours or so working on productive work, and then I'll have a couple of hours in the afternoon to like send emails and all this stuff that I was like, I just never had. It was really stressful because like I never had time to like, log into my bank and transfer money or little stuff like that. So that kind of stuff I'll do in the when I'm burned out in the afternoon.
Yep.
And research. I haven't had time like. So much of copywriting is the research that you put into it, and I barely have time to like. There have been times where I've just been literally typing every spare moment that I have, just to get the words on the page.
Exactly.
In time, and I haven't had time to like do the actual research and dig into the niches that I've worked in and stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll probably write first, then do the kind of the research stuff, and then do the admin nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to like keep everything. Like I'm not going to try to make a lot of other life changes right now.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. My main goal is to like actually my first goal here is stabilize my income. Right. Get back to where I was. Get to a point where I'm making $6,000 to $8,000 consistently a month, and not like. I'm not going to dig into my Sublime book and like all this other stuff that I want to do at first, unless I find myself with like literally nothing else to do. But I'm just gonna. I want to get into a groove with marketing myself. You know, do that like weekly at least or daily, and just stabilize things, and then start to worry about growing this thing.
Pick an angle and then and get on John McIntyre's podcast. That'll help you too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
now you can do that for sure. So
that's a good point. Yep.
The giveaway that's probably going to be the best angle to go with.
Yep. Yeah, that would get me in front of a bunch of people.
Yep. Because now you can take on the clients, so get the exposure. So
bring it on.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. Like I'm still planning on pursuing any time that I spend actively marketing myself, I think I still want to spend going after the business to business thing, but I keep just getting people coming to me for sort of the info product, entrepreneurial. I don't want to actively pursue those people necessarily because if they're going to be more difficult clients in general, I think if I went after them, they'd be more difficult clients than if I went after a corporation.
Right.
But if they keep coming to me, I might end up doing this anyway. Just doing emails for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. A good thing for you to do, like with your niche too, would be to start submitting for some of the dev conferences to give a talk on something related to marketing based on,
Yeah.
And then you can go to the expo booth and you can just like sell the expo, because that's your clients, right? That's
right.
Your clients.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading. There's a really good article I read this week about how I just hate that word, brands, but basically bigger companies do not get the whole building an audience thing at all. They don't think about building an email list or anything like that. Yeah. And I don't want to do missionary work, but I would that would be kind of a cool. I would kind of like to push that with corporate clients to get them to understand how to build their audience the way, because this guy he's basically a content marketer for the for brand type of advertisers, and he was saying the entrepreneurial space gets this and you guys don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like they'll dump tons of money into advertising and they're not capturing. They're just driving traffic. They're not capturing. That's kind of insane.
Yeah.
You'll get some sales, but.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, they're starting to, like I said, like when I went to this, the one, like both Zephyr and Sauce Labs and stuff, they're starting to get this. They're like, well, we need to do content marketing. And so now they're willing to pay to like borrow other audiences in order to do that.
Yep.
Because it's such a big return on their investment for them. So.
Yeah, it's been kind of funny because like I've been thinking about going after corporate clients, the content marketing thing. That kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, but I think I figured out what was bugging me about it, and it was really lost my train of thought. Oh well. Sorry about that.
You'll come.
Yeah. It'll come back to me later.
Yeah. You'll come over to my side more so now that you're unemployed. You have a bias as long as you have 8 hours occupied by someone else. You can't really do content marketing for yourself.
That's true.
Now you'll have more time to do some of that. So.
Well, yeah. But see, I think what it is what really bugs me. I remember what I was going to say is SEO is not content marketing.
Right.
Content and people try to use content marketing as a traffic strategy, and it works in some cases very well, and it works not at all, or in other cases. And like for me, if I were to try to build my email marketing business through SEO traffic, it wouldn't really work because I've looked at the keyword numbers. There's not any traffic volume there.
Well, short tail, but long tail there is, right?
Yeah, but the long tail people are not. Like almost all of them are irrelevant.
Well, consider Neil Patel. He's doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, but he's writing about SEO, and
Sure.
there's a huge market for that. But I've just seen a lot of people try to do content marketing for traffic. Like, I'm very much about content marketing being the best way to build a relationship with your audience, and that it's very good for selling, but not in all niches. It's not always a viable traffic strategy.
Mm-hmm. You have to build, because the end goal is not just getting the traffic; it's building the reputation and the brand, right?
Yep.
And
yeah, but you gotta get the traffic somewhere. Like, you gotta get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but so that, I've been kind of sorting through that little bit of friction in my head, and it's starting to make more sense. But
yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. This is going to be exciting. Now we can we can actually be live with our episodes.
Yeah, we could.
We don't have to set it to private. I don't know if we want to invite people to watch it live, just because
I
it's
don't know.
to have them download it, right? Because the sponsorships and everything. So, but we can broadcast it live, and then if people happen to catch it.
Yeah.
There's a number of other podcasts, like the Dev Hell podcast. They do a live broadcast with the chat room in IRC, and they read all of their sponsorship messages live every time.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of extra.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But anyway, that's...
Yeah, I have anecdotally gotten feedback that the live reads are way more effective and interesting.
They are.
So we might want to consider incorporating some of those, maybe even just one, or maybe that could be a premium we charge for.
A lot of it we just do live mentions too. Like we end up talking about, we talk about DigitalOcean quite a bit. We talk about some of the other ones. Drip always gets free advertising from us.
Constantly.
Oh. Yeah, well, one thing I'll have to figure out is how I'd like to talk more about. I need to figure out how much I can talk about with client stuff.
Yeah, that's something you got to be kind of careful about.
Yeah.
Some clients get really picky, and they don't want you to ever mention their name, mention any of the work you've done for them, or anything. Mm-hmm. And some clients will be like, "Yeah, I don't care. Talk about me all you want, because it just helps me."
If they don't have you sign something that NDAs you, then I would just Then I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's just you should know when you're working with me that I mean, I don't know. It's pretty hard to not realize that I pretty much share everything, including my finances, publicly.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I might try to. I don't know. I think once they give me a testimonial or something, they're kind of on the record as being a client. So at least they'd be comfortable with me using their name, I think, at that point. I'll need to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think if I get known as somebody who talks a lot about this stuff, then I can probably bring that up early with them and just say, hey, this is what I do.
Yeah.
What if you're not comfortable with some parts of this, let's talk about it or something.
Right.
But I do want to blog about a lot of this stuff too.
Definitely.
One thing I'm debating doing is if I do go after the business-to-business crowd, basically replicating my Sublime Text Tips Twitter strategy and building an email list of people, or building first a Twitter following and then an email list, the same strategy of people who are into content marketing.
Yeah.
And those would be mostly corporate types. Corporate media people that would be interested in hiring me as a B2B copywriter.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about doing that. We'll see. I'm basically just going to market myself to both for a while. Well, I'm going to market myself mainly to software companies, and then take this other stuff as it comes. And if it seems like it's going to just keep coming, then I might not bother with the B2B stuff. Because that was really just a way to kind of how can I leverage my strengths that I have now to quickly get some clients? And that seemed like the easiest way. But I'm getting referrals already.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're referrals are if I close this guy, I'll be 3 for 3 on referrals. So
that's
it's a pretty easy sale. And in all three cases, they were uncomfortable with what I was asking in terms of price. So.
And they're still referring you anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, the referrals definitely. I need to get I basically need like 2 or 3 more people like Brian Harris, and I'll be set.
Right.
Yeah, and you can find. See, that's the other thing is like that. That's why also I don't know. Again, to go back to the content and marketing, why it also works is because it's not just like you're trying to get clients from it.
Right.
I just recorded Brendan Dunn's podcast yesterday. Finally.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he was asking me that question. He was like, should you write your content towards like, higher level stuff to project managers who might be hiring you, like if you're a freelancer, or should you write it to at the low level like developer? And my answer was both, and the reason why is because there's like it's multifaceted, right? If you can, some of your stuff you write is going to be directly someone finds your site and they're your client, and then they're like, oh, you wrote about this, and they get in contact with you and they're a lead. But a lot of it also is just going to be your colleagues, because you build up a reputation in the industry with your colleagues, and then you get referrals from your colleagues, or like in the freelance dev, they tell their boss, hey, this guy is smart and he knows RabbitMQ, so let's hire this guy, let's have him come and do training. So that's the other value of it is like if you start to build up a reputation, if you're known with other content marketers and other copywriters, then they're going to refer you, and then other pieces of the business. Like Brian Harris is a really good one because he's not writing copy for people right now, but he's running into tons of people who need copy written. So. And so you're providing value to him, like the content that you're producing is stuff that people on his site are interested in, and then that he has the clients for you, and you'll probably have clients eventually for him, as well as people that are like, oh, well, I need like more of a sales funnel, or I need to do like actually grow my list, or I don't know, whatever he ends up specializing in, or so.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to try to identify a few more people, because he's basically a coach.
Yeah.
And if I can find a few more people like that, this guy, the referral that I got from my mentor, this is a guy he knows from his mastermind group. One of the things that got me to talk to him is like, well, let me put it this way. He's like, let me put it this way. This guy is in the mastermind group that I'm in, and we're both paying $25,000 a year to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, this guy's serious. You should talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I can,
so like $2,000 a month, somewhere around there for.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. That's.
Yep. Yeah, I know of. I mean, actually, a lot of top marketers have mastermind groups in that level. And usually, how it works is it's like a once a quarter or twice a year you get together in person for like 2 or 3 days kind of thing, and you like beat each other's businesses up and hold each other accountable for goals. And that's, I mean, it's basically a mastermind, but it's a lot more intense.
Right.
But yeah, so I did it.
Congrats again, man.
Not quite awesome. Not quite the Derek.
Not quite as dumb as me.
Not the flair, but you get a couple of style points. Not quite as much as Derek.
Well, if I was if it was in person, there would have been more opportunity for that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing it virtually.
Well, mine was virtual too. I was just.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? I was somewhere for some reason. I was picturing you. I don't know why, but I was picturing you doing that in person.
No, it was all over Skype.
Yeah, they're in Europe, right?
The primary company headquarters was in Bulgaria.
Okay.
And there was a U.S. company headquarters in Boston. My boss at the time lived in Florida. The director I worked under was down in Austin. My team was in Nashville and Boston and a couple of other places in Tennessee. So.
What do you guys think my next, like, what should I do next? Or like, what should my transition, like, any thoughts or tips for making the transition here? Things I should be thinking about, or I've got the insurance. I think I've got the insurance thing nailed down. Mm-hmm. I should be good through the end of the month, and I've got a policy already kind of queued up. And actually, this company that I'm going with offers dental and vision as part of, you can just bundle it all together. So I think I'm just going to do that.
Dental's usually not a good, and vision is usually not a good investment.
You mean paying for it at all?
Yeah,
I agree.
No. I mean, you pay out of pocket, and then you can buy a dental card for like $100 that gives you like a 50% discount off of the dentist rate, like a pre-negotiated rate, insurance rate.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I do. And then it's like, I mean, well, you can add it up, but I pay like $70 to $100 a cleaning, depending if there's x-rays or not.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you have other work, like if you crowns and stuff like that, but I mean, that's like if you take care of your teeth, you probably aren't going to have like those kind of things very often.
You guys don't want to know about my dental bills.
Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. Just want to take a second to thank one of the sponsors for this episode of EntreProgrammers, DigitalOcean. So I've talked about DigitalOcean a lot before on the show, and that's because they're just such an awesome company. I use them to host all of my websites, basically simpleprogrammer.com, which gets around 200,000 page views a month, runs on there super smooth. Get Up and Code runs on there. The EntreProgrammers podcast that you're listening to right now, we use DigitalOcean for that. I use it for just about everything, and it's such a good deal. You know, as far as hosting goes, right, if you're going to run your own Linux server and do your own web hosting at $5 a month, which is the starting plan for DigitalOcean, you just really can't beat that. It's crazy. And when you do need something super powerful, DigitalOcean comes through for you as well, and it's so easy to scale up to that. I started out on Simple Programmer with a $10 a month box, and I was even able with that to get 100,000 page views a month without much of a problem. But when I wanted to scale up, all I had to do was bring the server down, expand the size, go up to the higher size droplet, and bam, I was up there, and I've expanded it a couple of times since then. So DigitalOcean, definitely awesome company. I would definitely recommend that you check it out if you have any idea of creating a website online, or you want to have your own Linux server to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, some development or put out a production app. Just a ton of great things that you can do with DigitalOcean. Go to digitalocean.com and use the code EntreProgrammers to get a $10 credit. So digitalocean.com, EntreProgrammers is your code, and you get $10 credit, good for basically 2 months at a $5 box, so you can check it out.
This episode of the EntreProgrammers is brought to you by Raygun.io. Blast away the errors in your application before anybody even knows that your application has errors. It's an amazing system that allows you to find and fix bugs before your users even know that they have bugs. You can save time and money, and believe me, development time is expensive. It takes a lot of time and effort to track down these horrible bugs in production, but Raygun can help you find and fix these things faster by giving you complete stack traces of where these errors are happening and logging them for you so that you don't have to hunt them down and track them down and deal with all of the horrible mess of finding and debugging that you typically have to go through as a developer. This is full stack monitoring that allows you to monitor errors across your entire application, from the front end in the browser to mobile applications to the back end with Node.js or .NET or whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to have extremely reliable error tracking in your application in no time at all. So head over to Raygun.io and get started today to put some real error tracking in your application and start hunting down these bugs that you don't even know your users are running into, and you'll be better off for it. It's a product and service that I've been using for almost 2 years inside of Signal Leaf, and I really can't live without it. It's helped me so many times, and I've had such great results with it. I highly recommend you check out Raygun.io today.
Maybe we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got, I think 6 or 8 false teeth. I've had 4 root canals.
Oh man.
I had my wisdom teeth taken out in college. I've got more cavities, and I've got a sideways tooth. I mean, yeah, I have dental problems like you wouldn't believe.
Fun. So yeah, I guess based on that then.
Yeah, for me, dental insurance makes sense. It's included in part of my wife's insurance, anyways.
Oh yeah.
But I agree with John. Generally, if you've got good, healthy teeth, it's cheaper to pay the out-of-pocket stuff.
Okay.
Because most dentists would rather you pay out-of-pocket anyways, because it's cheaper for them.
Right. Yeah. Less paperwork and
Same thing with optometry usually too. Like
Yeah,
unless you use the prescription glasses every year or whatever, which you don't need them every year.
We have 3 people in my family with glasses, me included, and we don't have an eye, whatever you call it, eye doctor insurance. It's not worth it.
Okay.
And you can buy glasses online.
Yep.
For like $35. No kidding.
So
including the lenses.
I don't know anything about. I don't really know anything about vision insurance because I've never used it. I've always had pretty good vision. So does normal health insurance cover eye injuries then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Injuries, yes, but not vision itself.
So basically, vision insurance is just prepaid. It really is prepaid. Okay.
Yeah. It's neat. Do you think of it this way? The only kind of insurance that is actually makes sense to get is insurance against catastrophic loss, right?
Right.
And you don't, and dental and vision never could be a catastrophic loss.
Well, like what happens if you get your teeth kicked in or something?
Then it's medical. It's not dental.
That would be medical?
Yeah, because you're going to have surgery.
Your dentist wouldn't do it?
Even you're going to have oral surgery, which is not dentistry. Dentistry is basic dentistry, like drilling, all those things. Even then, orthodontic or how do you say orthopedics?
Yeah, orthopedic surgeons.
No, it's orthodontics or braces and.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's still not covered in any dentistry things anyway. So okay. So I would really, unless you're getting like some kind of ridiculously super deal where it's subsidized because of your health insurance plan, like significantly, I would avoid. Like what were they quoting you for vision and dental?
Actually, I don't know because I just asked my insurance broker about it this week because I thought about it this week. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. I don't know what the quotes are yet.
Okay. Yeah. It's actually kind of interesting. That book, Anti-Fragile, that I was talking about, he talks about this idea of like a barbell and like that what you want to do is you don't want to be in the middle. You want to be like have ultra conservative and ultra risky. And so he basically says based on that, like that barbell type of, because you're protecting yourself against fragility, and that's how you make yourself anti-fragile. He said that you should only insure against the catastrophic because and he said most people insure against the non-catastrophic mostly and don't handle catastrophic. So like when you buy appliance insurance and stuff, people buy that kind of thing, or phone insurance, all this kind of stuff that it's non-catastrophic, but then they're not covered for the major things. So but yeah,
like a hurricane wiped my house off the face of the earth.
Exactly. Yeah. So
okay. So what else?
Start transitioning somebody else onto your current projects at Trackabout. Okay. Do everything you can to not work for these last 2 weeks. And I don't mean be lazy and just don't do the work. I mean make sure that the work is covered by someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you don't want to be working your butt off the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave them high and dry with no transition. You don't want to be working your butt off for these last 2 weeks. It's going to be difficult for you to be motivated to work. And if you can find a way to push that work to someone else.
Actually, that's not true for me. I actually get very motivated my last few days or weeks at job, and I often stay late.
You're like the only person I've ever heard that does that.
I know. I think it's the guilt. I think it's the guilt and like wanting to leave things and like, wanting to leave my legacy or whatever. Yeah. Like I want to kind of tidy things up.
No, I do the same thing. I'm like, are you sure? Like, okay, so like you know how to steer this thing, right? Like, are you sure you want me to just like watch you steer for a little bit? Like, it's only midnight. Like, I can watch you steer for a little bit. How you doing?
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll probably try to pair up. So Mike is the other developer.
Yeah.
The iOS developer. So maybe I could pair up with him and just work. So like the main things I have to transition are like the iOS App Store deployment, which I have documented thoroughly, because it's so freaking convoluted.
Yeah, it's
like it was like I think I counted the steps. It was something like 50 steps
Wow.
to do it.
It's a little crazy. Yeah.
It's insane. And at one point I invested 2 weeks automating it, and then Apple changed their API within. I never got to use it.
Yeah.
The first time I tried to use it, something had changed in our infrastructure that broke it. The second time I tried to use it, same deal. Third time I tried to use it, Apple had changed their API and it no longer worked.
Wow.
So I do it manually again. Yeah.
The other thing I would say, especially for you, is to figure out that I think what you're doing, that 70-20-10 is going to be really important for you.
Yeah.
To figure out, because you're going to need to divide your week so that you're doing a 70-20-10, because it's going to be really tempting to do the 70. To make that 70 like a 90.
Yeah.
You want to split that ratio so that you're, because you got to keep your pipeline full.
Yeah.
Just considering the nature of your work, but you can't ignore the long tail things, which is in the 10%. I would include, the content marketing and the things that are going to like give you long tail leads generation and building your business and things like that. So
yeah. I don't know what the long term is yet. I mean, at some point I'll probably come back around to info marketing and do something like that. Yeah. But just the way I'm wired, that's going to be several years, I think, before I do that, because I want to have. I'm not comfortable. Like for you guys, you're writing about stuff you've been doing for 10 years. Well, I haven't been doing this for 10 years.
Right.
So
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You still write about it as
you can't write. You can't write and tell someone do this with your business if you haven't proved it out yourself.
That's
Everybody
not
else
true.
does.
It's not true.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
But no one knows anything about anything regarding business. It's all speculation. It's all guesses.
You can say I did this, and I got this result.
Yep, and you won't get the same result.
No, but
it's absolute. This is an absolute. Ask, this is if you can apply the exact same thing. In fact, how many contradictory things are there out there where people are successful doing exactly the opposite of what one person advises who was just as successful doing it? It doesn't come down to. I mean, tactics are yes important, but they're not the critical thing. It always comes down to experience, and you can't really teach content. I mean.
So let me put it in perspective for you, Josh.
Yep.
Everything that I write on my blog, every screencast that I produce, this whole RabbitMQ thing, this is not something that I have a mastery of. This is what I am currently learning and working with. And I have, as I learn these lessons, I write them down, I record them, I do whatever.
The key phrase there being as you learn the lessons.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which is exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So John is totally right in that we're all making it up as we go.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with.
You shouldn't be waiting 10 years to start writing this stuff.
No. But
you should be writing down right now. You should be writing down the things that the lessons that you have already learned, because somebody else out there has not learned those lessons.
Most of the lessons I've learned have come from books.
Irrelevant.
I'm not. Good. No, I just
completely irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. Totally agree.
Doesn't matter where those.
It's going to take you take it from us. It's going to take you years to build a reputation. You have to start now.
I have never once written anything original, ever. I promise you.
No, not original, but I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about like things where I've applied something and seen it work, because, and I'm just not comfortable. I'm not comfortable telling other people they should do something that I haven't personally done myself.
Summarize it as a theory. Just say, hey, look, I read about this thing. I think I can apply it in these places. I'll let you know when I have a chance to do it.
You've got to step into the expert mindset. It's have strong convictions loosely held.
Right.
And you have to have the strong convictions. No one will follow you or listen to you if you don't have strong convictions. Right. I mean, you have to be the kind of person that says, look, hey, this is what I think today. This is my advice on this subject. I'm not a genius. I might not even be an expert, but here's what I think, and this is why I think this. I read this book. I seen someone do this thing. This is maybe I can help you and give you this knowledge. And if I find out that I'm wrong tomorrow, I'm willing to accept that. And then, in fact, 1 year from now, the best indicator of growth is that 1 year. You should be able to look at stuff you wrote or stuff you thought 1 year ago and think about how stupid and wrong you were. If that isn't happening, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're not benefiting anyone. So, I mean, even 10 years from now, when you're, quote, an expert, you're still going to have that same problem because in year 11, you should look back at year 10 and say, man, that guy at year 10 was an idiot. And if you can't do that, you're not growing. So just start now and just have conviction. Just don't be unapologetic and just be willing to be corrected when you're wrong and to admit when you're wrong. And that's people will respect you for that. And they're not gonna. No one is gonna be like, oh, Josh Earl. I read a blog post from him. I'm going to base my entire business on this thing that he said, and then say, dang it, Josh Earl ruined my business. That's not going to happen. So.
People do stuff that I tell them though. I mean, I get emails. I get multiple emails every week from people running giveaways, wanting advice about how to do it, and that's something I've done, and I'm very comfortable, telling people how to do it. Mm-hmm. I think maybe, John, I agree with what you guys are saying though about being able to teach stuff, talk about stuff that you're not a master of. I think maybe what I was thinking too is I'm not going to sell products. I'm not going to sell you a business system that I have not proved out myself.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's completely different than writing about ideas.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was. That's kind of because I was thinking more in the info marketing area, and as far as what my 10% is going to look like.
A big part of coaching too is it's and that's where is just saying to someone, hey, this is what I think right now based on information, and then they're an experiment.
Yeah.
And then you see what happens with them, and you're like, oh, this worked for this person.
That didn't work. I'm sorry.
But
you paid me $1,000 and that didn't work.
Yeah, but that's reality. I mean, that's people who you're coaching are entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs take risks. Hell, I've invested in things that didn't work, but that doesn't mean that I didn't spend the money well. Everything is a gamble. Nothing. If it were guaranteed, if I could spend X number of dollars, if I could spend $5,000 a month on someone who would guarantee me results because their advice is so good, I would drop that in a heartbeat. But there is not. It doesn't care. I don't care if you talk about Perry Marshall. He can't even give advice that is absolutely guaranteed to make you money. Right. No one can. It's always going to be a risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm actually comfortable. I think I am gonna use coaching. Start doing some coaching pretty soon, because I've got on my list now. I've got I think about 1,600 people. That's just basically all from the giveaway.
Nice.
So they're all in the into marketing, and I might do the thing where I send out an email every once in a while and say, hey, I've got 5 slots. Oh shoot, I need $1,000. Well, I could sell 5 slots at $250 each or something, and for an hour or a half an hour of time, and that would probably go pretty quickly. So
totally.
But no, I agree with what you guys are saying about.
I mean, I'm doing that with RabbitMQ right now.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert, not by far, but I know more than the people that are going to buy this.
Right.
And by the time this process is over,
used it. You've also used it in a real production.
True.
That you built. It would be different if you picked it up for the first time and put together a product and told people how to architect their system that you'd never done. That's kind of more what I'm nervous about.
That's not even true. I've done so many Pluralsight courses where I'd learned the language a week before. Yeah. I mean, my Go course, I learned the language in a week and then taught it, and people reference it. I just got an email from someone saying, man, this is the best Go course online, and I'm referencing it in my talk.
Yeah.
And part of it is just because.
But there's that's objectively okay, if you build your protein tracker app. That's objective. You've learned it well enough to teach how to do a protein tracker app, and there's value there, and there's a concrete answer. But with something I don't know, just to pick something like SEO, I mean, even if you were an SEO expert 3 years ago, everything you've learned is irrelevant.
Well,
so unless you're doing it right now and succeeding with it, you should keep your mouth shut.
I don't know. There's always like there's a practical application, and there's and tactics, and then there's principles that don't change. There's and there's differences. People have success in many different ways with just about anything. And there's tons of contradictions. Like, it's all sorting through. I mean, if you've got something to say, you've got some value, probably, right? I mean, I agree. You don't just type up blog posts that are just total BS just to write words on paper.
Right, but we're not doing BuzzFeed here.
Yeah, exactly. If you have some,
BuzzFeed is content marketing, baby.
If you have something to say about a thing, there's probably some value in it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, right or wrong, no one's going to be able to prove it in the end anyway.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't be too concerned. Like, unless you are actually convinced that what you're writing is total horse crap, then
then you shouldn't be writing it.
Then you should be writing it. But if you believe what you're saying, then write it.
Yeah, totally.
Wrong. Like, you might be wrong. Everyone's going to be wrong. I mean, if you could be, what is it? Was it Abraham Lincoln who said, "If I could be wrong,
Abraham Lincoln. 95% of all quotes on the internet are made up.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. 51% of the time. In fact, I mean, if you can be right 51% of the time, you can make millions of dollars on Wall Street, right?
Right.
So no one even bets. 50-50 is good. So don't worry about it so much. But you got to build the brand now. Like, you have to build a reputation and brand, and you have to start now.
Yeah, I don't know where that's going to be just yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
Don't let that stop you either. Right. Do something.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I need to have something that I'm doing consistently. What I want to have is a proactive strategy to get clients, and a strategy where I'm building myself as an expert. Mm-hmm. And so, because the prospecting will get me clients today, the expert thing will get me clients tomorrow, and I won't have to do as much prospecting. So
right.
And I see a podcast in your future.
Actually, yeah. You know what? So this is where I need to figure out. I think I'm going to take this year and just sort of not worry about it so much, and just sort of do whatever.
Right.
Yep.
And take the opportunities that come and just see. I mean, if I end up being specializing in doing email, that would be fine with me. Patrick McKenzie's kind of abandoned that. He's not doing consulting anymore, and there's really actually nobody. I haven't seen anybody that's kind of stepped up and picked up where he left off with that. So it's something I've thought about, kind of going after that crowd. Mm-hmm. But
shoot him an email.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'd who's picking up your? And just say I'd love to learn to be able to do it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think once I get a better sense for what I like and what's marketable, I'll be able to settle. But I'm just not going to worry too much about it right now, and just take what I'll market myself to business markets. Take what comes and see what I like doing, and not stress too much about it, and something will shake out of it. I think I'll be doing a podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
And probably another weekly newsletter type of deal, that works really well. So. Yeah.
Just don't worry. Just remember when you went to the Bob Bly conference. And remember how many light years ahead of a lot of people you were there.
Yeah.
You know way more than you think you know. It just seems like common knowledge to you.
Yeah.
But to a lot of people, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah. Well, one thing I realized too is that there's a lot of copywriters are copywriters, not marketing consultants, and they really don't know a whole lot about the rest of they just basically give me the assignment and I will put my head down and write the copy for you. And they might be pretty good at it, but they don't really know a whole lot else. They don't have a lot of else value to add to the equation.
And remember, anyone who has a marketing degree, like an MBA with a marketing degree, you could just blow up their mind, because you have so much more knowledge than someone who's been formally trained in marketing, because that's all just total bullcrap, right? It's like has totally zero value, and they don't even know this. You're actually like the Marine in the foxhole, understanding actual marketing, not theoretical marketing. And there's that by itself is a huge advantage. Like, and there's a majority of the educated world. Like, we live in smaller circles. We live in the entrepreneurial circle where this is common, where everyone knows about email lists and writing content and all this stuff. And but a majority of the educated, college educated marketers, right, with marketing professionals, they don't even have any clue what real marketing is. So you've got, and that's most of the world. So you've got a big audience where you're like, you are the expert, even at this level. You're far beyond what it would take to be an expert. So
one thing that's going to help me a lot will be, now that I'm getting my own clients, to be able to actually work with them closely and see the numbers. Will give me a ton of confidence. Because just having, I've been using my my email course. I'm so glad I wrote that King Sumo giveaways course, because I've got real numbers with it. And I sent, people ask me for a writing sample. I'm like, here's the document with all 7 emails in it, and I paste a screenshot at the top with the open rates and the click-through rates for the whole thing, and I say it converts to 7 to 8% on a $97 offer, and like those are real numbers. And when I have more of that, like, I'm not going to have any trouble with confidence, I don't think.
Plus, how many emails have you sent? This is a good number for you too.
I've calculated this actually. It's close to 3.4 million.
Okay, so you've sent 3.4 million emails. That's pretty freaking impressive. Like, that's a lot.
That's not including a lot of emails. That's not including like stuff that my mentor has sent out for his clients with my work in it. So those are my emails that I've personally sent.
It's likely that you could claim you've been read. Your emails have been read by millions of people.
That's a good way of putting it.
So.
Well, although that's not necessarily true, because.
But you could say have been read millions of times.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
There you go. Yeah, millions of times.
Because it's the same 60,000 people reading my emails every week.
But I'm talking about with your clients and
yeah.
But anyway, read millions of times. That's fine as well. But
yeah, I can do this.
All right.
You got it, yo.
Yeah, and keep track of your sliding window of your revenue so that you don't freak out, right? Like 12 months sliding average, and 24 months sliding average. Then
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm hoping to get a couple clients on retainer. To where I'm getting, that would really help. Just sort of like if I get 2 clients on a $3,000 a month retainer, my bills are paid easily. And then I could probably do that working 1 week a month, or week and a half a month, and then anything from there, it'll just gravy. But yeah, that'll be adapting to that's going to be interesting. I
guess
I've got about $20,000 in my business account right now, like just pre-tax money sitting there that I think I'm actually going to I'm going to get my accounting software set up to where it's actually has payroll enabled, and I'm going to try to keep enough money in that account that I just pay myself once or twice a month, and it's like nothing changed.
Set a salary for yourself.
Yeah, I just have to put the money in the top now instead of somebody else doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
The only other thing I would say is get used to change. Change will happen on a sometimes daily basis. You get really good at change. When I worked at full-time jobs, I would freak out and break down and just lose it when I would quit a job and move somewhere else, go to another job somewhere else. I mean, I would break down crying because it was so stressful and difficult, and I didn't understand how to deal with it. And then I became a consultant, where I was changing jobs every month. And I did that for 2 years. And at the end of 2 years, I went to work for Telerik, and I was like, okay, papers, signed, done. And then I quit, okay, papers, signed, done. Because I was so used to that. It was, it's just more papers. It's just, just a new job. It's just a different client. It's just, you get used to change really quickly like that. Things that used to freak you out will freak you out for a little while still, but get used to it because that's going to be your new life. Yeah, my mentor,
it's okay, little buddy. My mentor had a time, a few months ago, where he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this month.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. He's like, I'm going to be a couple weeks late paying you. And I was like, okay, that's not a problem. And he came through, but he's just like, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay my bills this month.
Yeah. It happens.
So, yeah.
Don't get yourself into that situation either. That's something you need to make sure you always have runway.
Yeah. That's why that salary that you're going to pay yourself is important, because you can set your monthly salary. This is what I need every month, and you pay yourself that much every month, and the rest of it just builds up, so that when you do have that rainy day and you need to dig into it, you can.
Yeah, and I really want to be consistent with marketing, just prospecting. I'm going to call it that, prospecting, where I'm actually actively reaching out to people.
Who markets the marketer?
Yeah.
All right, yo.
Time to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess
it'll be exciting.
We can probably. Should we delay publishing this at all, or probably not? Doesn't matter, right?
I guess it doesn't really matter, right?
Publish this one on Wednesday.
Yep. Right after Tuesday, I guess.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks for all the support, guys, and
yeah, good luck.
This is exciting.
Awesome.
All right.
See ya.
Wanna start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to John, Josh, and Derek as we figure it